Hey, I'm Georgia.
And I'm Caleb from Broods.
And we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
You guys had a pretty busy weekend filming a video for Heartlines.
Yes.
I kind of want to know a little bit about that shoot because it looked like you guys were out in the desert. So tell me a little bit about that.
It was really hot.
You chose a great weekend, by the way.
Hotter than the hottest temperature I think I've ever been in. But yeah, it was a really cool place to shoot. I mean, we don't really have that kind of scenery in New Zealand, that desert kind of scenery, so it was pretty overwhelming.
Lush in New Zealand, very green, so
but
to be somewhere really dry and hot was kind of different.
No, but it was so beautiful though. It was like, yeah, it was very overwhelming, kind of like being in that kind of amazing space.
Right.
And it was pretty beautiful and such a cool place to film a video.
Now, you guys are not new to music videos. In fact, your music videos are pretty awesome, all the ones that you guys have released. So how does each video change for you guys as far as you being a better actress in it or you being a better actor in it?
I don't know, I think it's just, like anything, the more times you do something, the better you get at it.
Yeah, and the more comfortable you get at it.
And I think over the last couple of years we've developed better ideas on what we should have for a music video and things like that, and learned how to deal with, communicate with directors and stuff better.
Now, with better ideas, are you guys also involved in the creative process of the music video, or do you guys let someone else figure that out?
We're very involved. The first album was a bit like we didn't really know what was going on when we did music videos, but now with the second record, we've definitely kind of, even when we've been writing the music, we've had ideas of how we want the music video to be, and this is like when we've just written the song. So I guess like for us, we kind of just have our like vision for what we see the music video being like, and then we take it to a director to see how they can like make it into an actual treatment and storyline and
I mean, it's usually actually their idea, it's not usually ours, and we just like go through the idea with them and chuck out, you know, 10 cents in, because it's quite interesting to see what other people, how they relate to that piece of music compared to what, it's not necessarily what you were actually singing about or anything like that, but it's interesting to see how other people react to it.
Yeah,
it's usually the people that the directors that kind of understand. It's kind of like a test, I guess, like to see what directors, whether they like get the right idea.
Whether they actually heard the song or not. Right?
Yeah, that's always a good idea. But yeah, when we read a treatment that really kind of speaks to us and really hits a chord with us, because obviously the song is about our own experiences and stuff. So when somebody comes back with a treatment or an idea that really resonates with us, that's when we know that we're going to get along with them, and kind of it makes it easier for us to collaborate with somebody that's on the right track.
Now, on this record, like listening to it, I mean, for me as a fan, like I feel like it's hard to pick a single because all the tracks are really good. So what is it about Heartlines that you guys wanted this to be the next single?
I think it just, I don't know, it feels like the right development from the first record to take out there, and I mean we want to show like another side of the album to everyone out there, because we came in with Free for the first single, which is really industrial, really heavy,
really aggressive.
We just wanted to show a slightly happier version of us as well, I guess.
And this song was, if I'm correct, this was co-written with Lord as well.
Yeah.
What was that process like, going into the studio or sitting down with her for a writing session?
It was cool. It was the first time we've ever been in the studio with her, and the only time, and we ended up writing a really cool song, which is I think that's when you know that you're onto something, is when you can go into a studio with somebody that you've never written with and just kind of hit it off and be able to you know, write something, which is, it's quite a personal thing, you know, writing about, you know, what you've been through, or it comes from a very personal place, especially the way that we write. So it's nice to be able to do that with other people that really understand that side of songwriting, and she does the same thing. She writes from a very personal place as well, so it was cool to be able to go into the studio and kind of just join forces, I guess.
Right. Did you guys learn anything from the way that she writes or from her style in general?
I'm not really sure. She's very quick. Like her ideas come really quickly, where we muck around a lot until we get it right.
Everything.
And she's very. assertive.
Yeah.
A very assertive writer.
But it was cool, like the way that it was cool to see the way that she like processed the way that, like writing lyrics and stuff, and writing like placeholding lyrics and stuff, which I don't really do. I kind of just sit in a corner and like think, and then I'll be like, I've got it.
Now this song is actually from the new album, which is called Conscious. This is the second album that you guys have worked on. It's also the second time you've worked with Joel Little. What is it about Joel Little that you guys chose to work with him in the first place? And obviously he's there again, so he's doing something right.
The first
time really was just he chose to work with us, I think. It wasn't our choice. It was just like,
we were lucky enough to have him like
do you want to come and hang out and write some music? And we're like, sweet, I'll just finish this assignment and then we can get along with some writing.
But I guess for us, because Joel's been a part of the project since before the beginning, you know, like he's been behind the scenes since way back before we even had a name. So for us, like literally before we had named the band, like so it's nice to be able to go and develop like with him as a producer as well. And he knows us so well that we are very efficient when we're in the studio with him.
Right.
And it also makes
he
like
understands all our weird words to to try and describe sounds or anything.
Yeah.
Then everyone else would just be like, what?
We have our own little
I know exactly
language.
what you mean.
Yeah, it's nice because it means that we can just completely let our guards down in the studio with somebody. I mean, well, one, he knows us really well already, but also we really trust him as a person and a musician. So it's nice to be able to write really personal stuff with somebody like that.
Now, and aside from being personal, this record was a little heavier than your previous music. So why did you guys choose to go heavier? And being the fact that you guys had worked with him before, how different was this session?
There's a bit of a heavier, bigger sound this time, just mainly because we've been playing live for the last 2.5 years, and you know, you get these reactions from your fans and from the crowd from certain songs and certain energies when you put them out. So you naturally start wanting to write more of that energy into your music, so you can get it back as well, because it's awesome. And yeah,
I think the reason that the production has developed so much as well is because especially Caleb is
I actually know how to do it now.
Yeah, he knows how to work with it.
It's like some trial and error, right?
Yeah, that software is just I still don't really understand it, but I'm really good at voicing my opinion. No, it's cool to be able to kind of actually make what you hear happen, because at the beginning when we wrote Evergreen, we were just kind of like, so I can't hear this. How do you do that? But I think that's the main reason that it's so much. The production's so different from the first record. Right,
and aside from Joel, you guys had a couple other producers in there, Alex, and you guys also had Captain Cuts. You guys also worked with Tove Lo on a song on this one. So what is it like bringing new people into, you know, your baby, into something you guys have been working on for quite some time?
Well, I guess the songs that make the record are the relationships that really worked when you're writing. Like we wrote with more people as well, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So like Captain Cuts, for instance, we only had one session ever, and that was it. And then
2 days before we were supposed to deliver the album,
we had like, after like just hanging out for 2 hours, we had like 4 or 5 hours left for the session, and that's when we wrote I Am. It took like 4 hours.
Yeah, I guess it's just those people that for us it's like people that have the same sense of humor. We're always like a little bit easier to kind of just relax around.
Right.
And those guys are just so awesome, and you know, when you're writing music for the same reasons as people, it definitely helps to just kind of get on track and have the same, like, I guess, vision for what you want the song to be. And like people like Tove Lo as well, she writes music from a very similar place that we write music, a very like emotional place, and so to have her on one of the most emotional songs on the record is it's pretty special. And I feel like because it's such an intense song, like to have another person that we really, really love and care about kind of stand with us on that. It's quite special, you know. It's like nice to be able to share something so intimate with somebody that kind of is in the same boat.
Right. Now I'm curious how it works with you two, because it's just the two of you, obviously a drummer on stage, but it's just the two of you creating the music, but it sounds like a full band is behind you guys. So how does that process even work out for you guys when you guys are creating it?
It's just the magic of computers.
That's the thing about creating electronic music, is the limits.
Yeah.
You know, you're not limited to any sounds or just a box.
Laptop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can do it on the bus, you can do it anywhere you want on the plane, and you can pretty much write a whole track and then just go and cut the vocal somewhere.
Yeah.
Aside from the album, you guys worked with Jarryd James, who you guys will also be taking out on tour later this year.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about that production you guys did for 1,000 Times. Obviously, it's a different writer you guys haven't worked with before. So each time you work with a different writer, what else? You had worked with him before.
None of it came to fruition.
He was one of the ones that didn't work in the first time.
No, we hate him. No, he's one of our best mates.
Yeah, so we just hung out too much and actually did no music because we're two good friends, I guess.
Well, that sounds like a problem for this upcoming tour that kicks off in August, because you guys might not even get to the stage.
No, 1,000 Times. Joel and Jarryd actually wrote that song, and it was.
We didn't have any part in the writing of it.
We didn't actually write any of it. But we got sent the demo because obviously, like, we're all good friends and we share music together. Right. And the demo was so awesome, and Jarryd didn't want to release it, but after a while, you know, like, I got really attached to it, and I loved it so much, and our manager, because we have the same manager, said, well, what about if Georgia sings on the track with you? Will you want to release it then? And then I think like, he was a bit sneaky about it and, like, got me to record vocals on it before he even, like, told Jarryd. He's like, well, she's on it, and here is the finished product. What do you think? And yeah, I think it means a little bit more when it's with somebody that, like I said, when you work with people that you really care about and really love, then the music just kind of naturally becomes more believable and personal.
Right. Now, and lastly, the record is out now. You guys can pick it up on iTunes. You guys are going on tour, North American tour, beginning August 1st with Jarryd James, like we mentioned. You guys experienced touring arenas with Ellie Goulding, toured with Sam Smith before, and many other artists. So how different, or what did that teach you for your upcoming tour, and what can we expect?
I guess you learn something off everyone, no matter what it is. Usually off, even like support acts, we usually learn something off because they've been doing it for longer than us. So
it's I think the biggest thing that we learned from touring as a support band and, like, going into these big venues that we're not used to playing is just kind of, like, overcoming that kind of, like, overwhelmed, like, this is a very big room.
And just building the right team around you, because they all have great people around them, and they're very, like, specific on what kind of people they want around them, and what works with them, you know. And we have, like, the coolest team.
Yeah.
Like, half of it's family, but
obviously it works.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's definitely about the people that you work with that make a tour, make or break a tour, because I mean, it's pretty stressful, like, sometimes being out on the road, and when you have people that you can trust and fall back on, and like, it definitely helps to just put perspective back into your life when you're like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that tour, and you guys be sure to pick up the album Conscious. It's on iTunes, or just go to broodsmusic.com and check it out. Don't forget to subscribe here on Front Row Live, and thanks for watching, guys.